Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about a question that I get asked a lot, and that's where is the best place to get military-style combat training? Okay. Now, you would think that the kind of obvious answer would be, if you want military-style combat training, go join the military, right? Um, so here's the thing: as a gun, as a range safety officer, as a gun instructor, who's been doing this for about, I don't know, 12 years at this point, I've interacted with a lot of ex-military people. I've been trained by a lot of ex-military people, um, and I've also interacted with people that are not, are no longer actively shooting, but let's say their families or their kids wanted to learn to shoot, so they brought their kids to the range, or so I've interacted with lots of people, some of who are still interested in shooting, post their military experience. Other people, who, after talking to them, even though they were extremely interested in guns and stuff like that, going in, when they came out, they had absolutely no interest in it. In many cases, when I'll see people try to shoot an AR, right, which is similar to the M16 that they might have had some 20 years ago, um, they won't remember if they're left eye or right eye dominant, because they haven't touched the gun in so long. So a lot of times, I'll see them, they're trying to shoot the gun for the first time. They're picking up the gun, right, and they're like, they're holding the gun on the right side. They're closing their right eye, and they can't find their sights, right? And then I'll say, well, when you were in the military, did you shoot the gun on the right side or the left side? And they'll think for a second, and they're like, oh yeah, it was on the left side, okay, because they were left eye dominant. Can't see anything on their right side. So the point I'm bringing out with this is that, um, you know, a lot of times people will go into the military with certain expectations of what they are going to be when they come out. Okay, and those, because that experience through the military can, can be very different, right? For some people, it's a very mild experience, right? Where for other people, it's very intense, and some people handle that intense better than others. People, in many cases, people uh, don't end up not handling that intense conflict the way that they thought they were going to handle it. Okay, so what that means is that when they come out, if their intention was to go in so that when they came out they were like, like super gun guys. In fact, when they come out, they're not super gun guys, because they no longer have an interest in that, and they're no longer practicing, and over a longer period of time they just kind of forget and lose their edge. So my the point I'm trying to get to is, um, if your goal is to just develop certain combat style skills, um, the answer may not be to join the military. The answer might be to seek out people who have already walked that path, who already know those things, pay them, and learn the things that you want to learn. And that's how I learned all the things, right? So that's basically over the years. Once I decided that I was interested in this kind of stuff, um, basically I found the combat vets, and all of them had different things to teach, different perspectives. Some of them were like just standard infantry. They had like very simple, basic ways of doing stuff. Other people I ran into had very, did more like special forces type of stuff, very specialized type of stuff. And basically I either paid them or I bartered with them, and I got the training that I wanted to get. Okay, and the good thing is that I was able to get that training and arrive at the point that I wanted to be, which is be able to use it now. I'm 50 years old and I can still do this stuff, right? I mean, I've done videos, right, where I'm hanging off a rope, shooting one-handed, hitting the target, right? That's the kind of stuff that, a lot of times when you think of like advanced training, right? Well, you don't have to join the military to do that kind of stuff. You just, find somebody, someplace, or someone that can do that with you, and you can do it. Okay, and the thing is that you have, it's kind of like you get to eat your cake and have it at the same time, right? You get the training, you get the benefit of all this training, and you're not damaged. Okay, because a lot of times when people go into the military, they come out either physically damaged or mentally damaged, and the problem with that is that great, you got all this training, you got all this experience, but because of the damage that you received, you really can't use it as effectively, or you can't enjoy using it as effectively, right? Because I think that people, I think that part of the motivation that people want to get this level of training is that they want to have fun, right? They want to do the stuff that I do here every day, which is shoot guns, do lots of advanced type of training drills, and just have fun doing it. And the thing is that the way I think to get there is not necessary to go through the military, because you don't know what type of experience you're going to have on the way through, and you don't know what you're going to be like coming out the other end. Okay, what I recommend to people, right, especially young, this video is really geared towards the under 26-year-old crowd, right? If you're over 26, chances are you've already figured it out. You picked the path, one way or the other, and you are where you are, and you're either happy with that or you're not happy with that, and that's fine. But for the under 26-year-old crowd that's kind of trying to figure out the best path to get this military style combat experience that they want, consider other options. I think over the last 20 years that we've been fighting these wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, we've created some 20 million veterans, right, that are out there that have lots of knowledge and experience. Okay, and that's where I got most of my knowledge and experience from. Okay, especially as a range safety officer, as a gun instructor, I was able to barter, with a lot of these vets to gain the knowledge that I wanted to gain. Okay, and the good thing is I was able to take this knowledge and benefit from it without being damaged either physically or mentally. And here I am, 50 years old, right, playing like an 18-year-old kid out here in the woods every day with guns. All right. So I'm kind of putting this out there as an alternative, right? If you want to go into the military, know why you're going. You're going there to serve. You're not going there to play with guns. Okay, you're going there to serve. And one of the things I'm going to tell people is, be careful who you pick for a boss. Okay, the boss being the commander in chief. The president of the United States. That's going to be your boss. Okay, whatever he says, you do. Okay, so be careful who you pick for a boss, whether you like the current boss, or you don't like the current boss, or you like the last one, or you didn't like the last one, or you don't know who the next one's going to be. You don't get a say. Once you sign, you don't get a say. You do what you are told. Okay. Now another interesting thing is a lot of times people will say they want to go into the military because they're looking to, they're looking to learn certain skills to advance their career. Okay. Or they want to develop a career. Well, I'll tell you guys an interesting story. I used to basically, for those of you that don't know, my background is accounting. Okay, I'm an accountant. I used to be a chief financial officer. Part of the reason why I can do all this stuff that I do is because I'm a good businessman. Okay, as a good businessman, I was able to make enough money to buy the skills that I wanted to learn, right? To buy the land and the machinery and all the things that I wanted to, that I needed to do the things that I would enjoy. Okay, so I didn't get to where I'm at by going to the military. I got to where I'm at by being successful in business. Okay, but anyway, the point I was kind of getting at here is I remember at one point I was running this company and it was a small company, I think but somebody had left out of the shipping department, and we needed to replace that person, and there was nobody else to do the interviews. Basically, I did all the interviews at all levels, right? Where we were hiring a salesman, or we were hiring somebody in production, or an engineer, or whatever. I ended up more or less interviewing everybody. I wasn't the only person that interviewed him, but I was one of the people that ended up interviewing everybody. So on I think at least 2 occasions, somebody out of my staff, right? I think it was a shipping department, would come to me and say, "Hey, I'm letting you know that I'm giving you 2 weeks notice, or 4 weeks notice, whatever it was, because I'm going to go join the military. Okay, I'm like, okay, great, congratulations. And I would say, I'm happy for you. And why did you make this decision? It's just out of curiosity. This was before I got into any of this, so I was not a gun instructor at this point. All right. And I would ask them why they decided to do this, and they would say, oh, because they were looking for opportunities, for new opportunity, for advancement, trying to learn some new skills. I'm like, okay, great, excellent. Okay. So I start interviewing, to replace that person, right? And people would come in, and the interesting thing is that some of the people that were coming in for interviews were people that were just coming out of the military, right? So these are now people coming out of the military interviewing for that same position as the guy that's now going into the military because they're looking for career opportunities. Right now, this guy's coming to me. I'm interviewing him, and I'm like, okay, great. What are you hoping to get out of this job? What you're interviewing for? I'm like, oh, I'm looking for new opportunities, career advancement. Basically, they're telling me the same exact thing that the guy that's leaving just told me. Right? They're coming in for the same reason that the guy that just left is leaving. Okay. Again, not passing judgment. Not, it's just giving you facts. That's something that I experienced on at least 2 occasions, where I had 2 military guys leaving, and then just in the interview process, I would have like ex-military guys coming in to fill that same position. So my conclusion, right? Because remember, now I'm observing this as somebody that doesn't have military experience. I'm observing this, and I'm like, well, he's leaving, he's coming in. I don't think that this is working out the way that they think it's going to work out. Okay. So, and I'm not telling you guys don't do this, right? I'm not saying don't join the military. What I will tell you is, if you want to go into the military, talk to a lot of ex-military people. People who have come out. Talk to them, pick their brains, and figure out why they went in. Did they get the things that they wanted to, right? Because it might be that some people are going to go in just because it's a family tradition. That's a whole other, if you're talking to somebody that went in because their father and the grandfather and the grandfather before that did it, all right? So if it's a family tradition, is that something that applies to you? Is this a tradition in your family? Is that the reason why you're doing it? If that's not the case, then that person's reason for doing it doesn't apply to you. So talk to the people that came out and find out why they went in. What were their goals? Did they get the things that they wanted to get? Are they happy with their life decisions? What are they doing now? And make decisions based on that. But the main thing of this video is I wanted to tell you guys that if you're just interested in playing with guns, right, you don't have to join the military to do that. Okay, go to a place that has guns, and play with guns. Okay, that's an option. If you're looking for military style training, there's tons of people that have come out of the military that can give you first-hand training. They can teach you all the stuff that they did over there without you having to go through all that. Because one of the things that I have seen over the years is that a lot of times when people come out of the military, they come out, they don't come out the way they went in. Okay, they either come out physically damaged or mentally damaged. If they were looking to go in so that they could become proficient with guns, well, if you go in and you get either physically or mentally damaged, that may prevent you from being proficient with guns. Okay, so the end result is that you're actually less combat capable than when you went in. Right. So these are all things for you guys to consider. Not telling you what to do and not to do. Okay. Just sharing with you guys the things that I have heard from people that have gone in, people that have trained me. Right. Because I've gotten lots of training from a lot of ex-military people. A lot of the videos that I do, I'm sharing a lot of the knowledge that I've picked up from ex-military people. Some of the stuff some of the stuff's very basic. A lot of the basic infantry stuff is most importantly getting to where you gotta be and take cover and shoot from there. So that's a lot of it's just very basic. But the really interesting stuff is what I learned from a lot of these special forces type of guys. that's where a lot of the more interesting stuff comes in. But again, I've been able to buy that knowledge, right, and I can practice it every day. I'm 50 years old, and I'm doing this stuff every day because I was not damaged physically or mentally earlier on in my life. So a couple of things for you guys to think about. So drop some comments below. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you all soon.